Welcome back to the Business Leaders of America podcast, where business leaders come to share their advice and journeys to success with existing and emerging leaders of America. Now, here's your host, Dylan Bloyd.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Business Leaders of America podcast. Today, I'm joined by David Meltzer, founder of David Meltzer Enterprises, entrepreneur, best-selling author, keynote speaker, and chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. David has spent his career building businesses across technology, sports, entertainment, and media. He previously served as CEO of Leigh Steinberg Sports and Entertainment and later co-founded Sports One Marketing with the Pro Football Hall of Famer Warren Moon. Today, David works with entrepreneurs, executives, and business leaders through his coaching, speaking, and media platforms, sharing the lessons he's learned through his career. In this conversation, we'll talk about David's journey through business and sports, the importance of relationships and personal branding, and the principles that have shaped the way he approaches success and leadership. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to share with your community, and hopefully we can help people make a lot of money to help more people and have more fun. So thanks, Dylan.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm really looking forward to this. But, David, before all the success, the companies and the platforms, what was the moment of influence that set you on the path into business and eventually into sports and the entertainment world?
It was my ability to focus in on capability. And so what I always did, even though I had a law degree, a business degree, I was highly educated, I focused in on aligning my ability, my capability with what was doing well, what's stable and what I thought would be doing well. So although I had a law degree and got offers to practice oil and gas law, litigation, and make a lot of money that way, I went against the trend of my friends, my family, especially my mother, and I sold legal research online in 1992. And so I developed experience in technology. My first exit was with Thomson Reuters in 1995 for over $3.4 billion, and then learned venture capital from there and ended up, as CEO of Samsung's phone division, their data phone division. They didn't even call them smartphones. They were called convergence device. It was a Windows device. It wasn't an Apple device. And that led me to sports because I always had a passion. Like every other frustrated athlete, I was a below average, and I repeat, below average college football player. But Leigh Steinberg, the most notable sports agent in the world, he needed someone, not that was a great sports agent, not that was a great lawyer, but somebody that knew in the early 2000s venture capital and technology. And those capabilities are what got me the greatest opportunity in sports to run the most notable sports agency in the world, which they made the movie Jerry Maguire about, which led me to represent and partner with a best friend of mine, Warren Moon, the Hall of Fame quarterback, which then led me to a sports media company that led me to a sports and entrepreneur media company, doing more content than any other middle-aged mutant turtle in the world. I hold that record for doing more interviews and more content than any middle-aged mutant turtle like myself.
Wow. Well, quite the background, David, and I actually had the opportunity to speak with Leigh, had him on the podcast a while back, and, he's just an incredible individual, and obviously reading your book, knowing the past you guys have together is just incredible, but, I really want to talk about probably the most pivotal chapter of your story, right? The period where you went from massive financial success to losing it all, right? So a lot of people talk about success, but very few talk openly about the collapse, that can possibly follow it. So was there an exact moment you realized everything was collapsing financially, and were there warning signs you ignored along the way?
Yeah, there was definitely warning signs, and those warning signs was my mom telling me I was lost, my dad telling me that you can't live for money. Money won't buy you love or happiness. He actually gave me a jacket for my birthday with no pockets. And that was the last time I talked to him. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I told him I was nothing like him, that he was a liar, a cheater, manipulator, overseller, back-end seller. There was a warning flag when my best friend told me that he didn't want to go to the Masters on a private jet with Warren Moon, with Wayne Gretzky and Joe Montana, because he didn't like who I was and who I was hanging out with. And I ended that friendship. So the warnings were, my mom, my dad, my best friend, and then finally my wife telling me she was leaving me because I had, not been the person who she married. She actually said, take stock in who you were and what you want to become. Luckily, she didn't leave me. But for me, those were the four biggest warning signs that culminated in me learning, actually seeing that jacket. I said to myself, I don't hate my mom. I don't hate my dad. I don't hate my best friend. Certainly don't hate my wife.
Right.
I hated myself.
Yeah.
And until I came to the acknowledgement that I was a liar, a cheater, a manipulator, an overseller, a back end seller, just like my dad,
Mm.
nothing was going to change. And so when I started living with the values that my mom taught me, gratitude to give me perspective, empathy and forgiveness to give me ease, accountability to give me control and lessons, and effective communication to leave me inspired to apply my why. When I finally lost everything and had to tell my mom I lost everything, remember, you don't tell anyone you're losing everything. You wait till the very last day to tell your wife. You don't tell anyone else. So when I told my mom, which was going to be a complete surprise, but I also lost her house because I
Wow.
had my name on her title. It was a poignant time because I started crying and I'm like, why is God punishing me, Mom? And she said, God does not punish. God is protecting you, promoting you, loving and perfecting you. Son, you're almost 40 years old. You got to figure this out. I said, Mom, but I lost your home too. You need to move. I'm not sure you heard me. She goes, oh, I heard you. Do you need some help? Do you need some money? I said, Mom, I don't believe in God. And she said to me right away with a big smile on her face, oh, son, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God. Now let's get to work and let's fix this.
Man.
And I started to fill that God-sized hole in my life that I was filling with everything but God, with cars, planes, boats, bullshit dinners, and
Hmm.
all types of other negativity. I started to fill it with God. And here I am 18 years later, making more money than I have ever made, helping more people than I ever dreamed of. And of course, enjoying my life, a consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, happier than ever, full of joy, and teaching other people to do the same.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's sometimes you just need people, who are truly in your corner to really set you back and get you back on pace, right? Because if you don't have that, then you're going to try and navigate it yourself, right? And it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and the truth vibrates the fastest. And unfortunately, only people who really love you will tell you the truth. Everyone else will just completely milk you until everything's gone, and then they'll be gone, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, then you see some of these people who go the opposite way. They continue to go down that path of what you were going down, right? Of course, it's still success, right? It's just a different form of success, and probably going to result in a much lonelier success, right?
Yeah, it's
Right.
no greater empty feeling. And that's why so many wealthy people are unhappy or commit suicide as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for touching on that, because it is very vulnerable in doing so. And I think there's a lot of people who can learn from those lessons. So I'm thankful that you do talk about that openly, and I thank you for sharing it
Well,
on
thank
here
you.
as
I
well.
also would like to just for your entire community,
Yeah,
you've read Connected to Goodness,
I
and
have.
I would love to send for free, pay for shipping to anybody in your community. I will send my book for free. I'll pay for shipping. Please my email's right here. Put it in the notes, david@dmeltzer.com. If you email me, I will send, sign, ship, pay for everything. Just email me. I want to, in my mission of empowering over 1 billion people to be happy, I think my book's a great place to start. Sure,
Mm,
you'll agree, Dylan. You've read it.
100%.
It's a great framework. It's like Think and Grow Rich. I'm the chairman of Napoleon Hill. They
Hmm.
helped me write this book. It's a great way to live by the key elements of life, these values, and move forward with some great pragmatic tips as well.
Right. No, I could not agree more. I've read it and I've listened to it. It is a great book. So yes, amazing. Thank you for sharing that as well. So anybody who's listening, make sure you guys are reaching out and getting your copy, because I highly recommend it. But David, I did want to switch gears a little bit, because what's interesting about your background is that you've also been on both sides of branding, right? So building brands for the elite athletes in sports, and also building a massive personal brand for own long before the most executives were doing it, right? So what did you see early on that made you realize personal branding and showing up publicly would become such a powerful part of your business and influence?
I never imagined it. If somebody would have told me more people would recognize me than Warren Moon, my
Yeah.
business partner, But it's true, right? Because he's not on the field every Sunday. He's not doing announcing. And here I am doing thousands of videos and interviews and speeches and meetups and holding courts and masterminds and every day, 7 days a week, creating, enough content to stay relevant to a social silo, a community of people. So understanding how branding worked in the old days, and then today working with Gary Chuck and so many other great people who have inspired me to build my community. See, branding today is community. And I'm one of the few people that always stuck to analog. I used analog, of course, to capture it, modify it, amplify it, and perpetuate it digitally. But I never went away from showing up in person. Meetups,
Mm.
holding courts, interviews, speeches. I do more 200 days a year in person because that to me is what truly builds a community. And then the ability to capture it, modify it, amplify it, and perpetuate it into a social silo will build it exponentially. But too many people miss the most important thing. And, Gary and I share this vision that the future holds. Those people that are willing to do in person are going to benefit. And one of the greatest things about trends, when Odyssey and Spider-Man both beat records, people decided, I don't want to watch it on my phone. I don't want to watch it at home. That was a good signal that we're on the right track, that people want to leave the house and do things outside of the house in person. And I got a huge jump start because I've been doing that for years.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's obviously COVID slowed everything down for a little bit, like you said, but it's much better in person. Yes, you and I are having this virtual conversation right now, and it would probably feel a whole lot different in person. And we talked about potentially doing something down in person in Vegas, right? And so, but it's just nothing different than having those interactions in person. And I'm a part of a little plug here, but I'm part of a network called the C-Suite Network, right? And so
Yeah,
they
with Jeff
do.
Hazlett. So he's
Yes,
a partner in the Sterling Club with me.
yes,
And
exactly.
Jeff gets it as well. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yep. And so, they're doing those in-person meetings or in-person group meetups, and it's so much better than doing the virtual thing all the time, right? But I want to talk about something that you're more known for in business is building relationships and, high-level networking, right? Like we're talking about. But when it comes to building relationships at a high level, how much of it really comes down to creating value for other people?
Yeah, I think understanding first what value is,
Mm.
a lot of people don't. I've narrowed value down to make it simple for people to understand value. Then we teach people how to articulate value. And that's another challenge that people have. So value is derived in 6 ways. You either give people what they like or take away what they don't like. Either give them more of what they know or take away what they don't know. Give them more of what works for them or take away that doesn't work. So for me, the first step is to know where someone is today, to be more interested than interesting. Know where someone is today according to subject matter, topic, or expertise. Learn about what they like, don't like, know and don't know, works and doesn't work, and then practice articulating the value so you can say, would it help you if I gave you more of what you like, took away what you didn't like, more of what you know, take away what you don't know, more of what's working, take away what you're not working. And those people that can do that will increase exponentially their statistical success and be able to network at the highest level because they know how to not only find value, but articulate it in an efficient manner to exceed what they're asking for. And then to even add understanding value that people that are able to help you are at their highest self when they're able and capable of helping you. So those people that not only ask, would it help you if, but also, do you know anyone that could help me? And so we build a community of people that help each other and know people that help each other. I have thousands of people in my Monday group. I'm inviting your entire community, the C-suite community, to come join me on Mondays where they can ask me questions one-on-one, but also all week long have thousands of people that have an intention of helping one another and knowing people that help each other. So I teach you how to, one, recognize value, articulate it, be more interested than interesting, and then transition with, would it help you if, or do you know anyone that can help me?
Right. And I think there's a lot of people out there, which that's amazing. I do advise a lot of people to make sure you guys are joining that because I've been a part of it and yeah, truly value bombs continuously, throughout. And so, but that being said, I think there's a lot of people out there, on social media who are claiming to provide value, but it's really, they have the hidden agenda of making money. Of course, everybody has to make money, but at the same time, shouldn't that just be a byproduct of trying to create value for people?
It is, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. People, they get very transactional, for example. They're not
Yes.
more interested than interesting. They don't go about value in the right way, even though they're capable and able of assigning and aligning value to the individual by topic, subject, and expertise. They don't know and haven't practiced, rehearsed how to do that. And one of the reasons C-suite is so good, right, and being in person is it gives you more and more practice of one, being credible, not
Mhm.
overselling, back and selling, lying, manipulating, and cheating, but two, connecting emotionally, putting the energy in motion by knowing what people feel strongly about. And when you have that ability for credibility and emotional attachment, you're able to articulate the quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for by knowing the 6 ways that value is derived. You now have increased your statistical success of building a network of people that buy from you and sell for you for life. And there's no greater guarantee or aspiration of networking than to have a whole bunch of people that buy from you and sell for you for life. It's a guarantee, no matter what you're doing, to be successful in building a community.
Right, absolutely. But when you take that idea of creating value for others first, and then you apply it to mentorship, because this is a lot of what you're doing as well now, right? So how do you personally identify people who you're actually worth investing your time and energy into?
Great question. So I have buckets, right? So I have buckets here. I do this for free. I have free meetups. I have free Friday trainings. I have free Wednesday Napoleon Hill training. Today on Monday, I have free Ask Me Anythings. I do free interviews. I have all these things. I give my book for free, david@dmeltzer.com. So I go ahead and listen to you and say, look, this is free. Then I have different things I do by group that are free or paid for. Then I have more proximity, one-on-one, VIP dinners, masterminds, speeches, all types of paid opportunities that I guarantee. I guarantee value. So the only reason someone doesn't join something I do is either they can't afford it, which they should not join if you can't afford it, or they know they're not going to do the work. So because it's guaranteed, there's no reason if you could afford it, you won't do it other than, hey, I don't have the time or I'm not going to be engaged. So it'd be a waste of my money. So I end up curating all these rooms and all these people that one, they can afford it, and two, they're actually going to be engaged. And so I do that. Then you got business advisory and investment. So my categories allow me to help everyone: free, group, one-on-one, business advisory, or investment.
Yeah, they might not want to, be engaged, or at the same time not want to be held accountable, right? Because that's what's going to happen. So, yeah, no, that's amazing. So, before we wrap up, David, I did want to ask you, really quick, if you were to start from the beginning again today, right, at this stage in your life, when everything you've learned from beginning, from building it, losing it, and then rebuilding it, what would you focus on first?
Asking for help, finding the people that sit in a situation that I want to be in and asking them for help. Once I realized that the greatest gift I can give someone is to allow them to help me, to allow them to be able and capable of helping me, knowing that when people are able and capable of helping, they're closest to God, they're at their higher self. And once I realized that, all the effort I did to help other people and weaken myself by not asking for help, now, every day, so many people help me get bigger and stronger, wealthier. So what? I can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. And that's what I want for everyone. Get connected to goodness. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Dylan, let's do more. October 12th is a good date. We're with Jeff Hazlett at the Sterling Club. We have a mastermind dinner. And then the next day we're filming in Vegas. You can drive down from Reno. Love to see you.
Yes, no, I really appreciate you joining and the invitation as well. And this has been amazing, David. I really appreciate you spending time with me and the listeners today.
Thank you, my brother. We'll do this again soon. Thank you.